I have just brought this bit of exhaust. But why, I hear you ask? Exhaust wasn't on our list of things to do on the Astra VXR, and that's right, it wasn't. Some videos back we dealt with an exhaust blade towards the rear of the exhaust where the back box meets the silencer pipe, which on my car is just a straight through bit of pipe. But inevitably, as it's taking quite a while to get through the list of jobs as on screen, other jobs are cropping up, and now I have a new exhaust blow from the flexi pipe, which is this bit on the catalytic converter. Let's get the car in here and I'll show you. It's similar to the exhaust leak we had on the Mocha not so long ago. Well, on the Mocha it wasn't actually the cat, it was separate, it was just a flexi pipe. But on the Astra it is part of the cat. And I have a sports cat, so this cat was £461. It is a Cobra and it even comes with its own book. I've never bought an exhaust before that comes with a book. And while we're at it, I'm thinking I might put this back on. Once upon a time in a video far away, we had to replace this pre-cat decat pipe which was on the car because the MOT station failed the car because the exhaust system was not as original. I've never put this back on, but now we are going into that area of the exhaust. I think now is the time to do that, and hopefully with the new exhaust on it, next time it goes for the emissions it should pass. I don't know, but worst case we just have to take this off again and put the original pre-cat back on. And the pre-cat I'm talking about is this bit of exhaust here. Put the link in the top right for the video where we address getting this off, but it is just that e-Torx bolt there, and then there's the V-bands clip, and the top of that pre-cat will drop down. Simple as that. With the AC sensor, that pre-cat is disconnected from the manifold. Now we need to get under the car. This is where the cat joins onto the centre silencer, which isn't a silencer because this is a straight through pipe. And it's the other end of that pipe where we had the blow previously, but it is this section we're getting off today. So we've got a combo of 12 and 13mm bolts and nuts on there. I've got to take this AT sensor out because that needs to go into the new exhaust. So I might as well disconnect it from here whilst it's on the car rather than following the lead through and unplugging it and pulling it out of the car, although that would be an option. And then on the other end we've got these 3 nuts and bolts here, but because we're taking the pre-cat out here we can bring that out attached and then deal with undoing that off the car, because those look rusty and probably going to be a bit of a pain. It's not moving. I'm going to have to take it out then. Take the exhaust out with the AC sensor still connected. That's not too much of a hardship because the plug is just up there. Put my hand on it, I'll put my finger pointing to it. I have already unplugged it because it was that easy. And then it's just feeding it back through for plastic clips. No big deal. And then once that is outside the car, I will get the gun on it. Oh, it snapped. We'll call that a win. This is the V-band. Oh. There are 2 catalytic converters. Now you can well and truly see how knackered this one is. This is where, having just done that, I hope that the new exhaust is the same, and yeah, they look pretty much identical. So let's try and get this AT sensor off now. Don't need to do that one because on the decat pipe I've already got a spare one, which was from when I got the car mapped and I was getting EML light come on for the P0420 code, my favourite code, having had the same one on the Mocha. I tried a new AT sensor, it didn't make a difference, and that's what led to us getting the car mapped. So I can just leave that one in place. This is my special AT sensor socket, so that will just go, it will go over the AT sensor, but I've got this clamp around it because these sockets have a tendency to spread like that. But I need to undo the clamp so I can get the socket on, and then I will slide the clamp back on. all set. Oh, so it has spread and it is sliding around. Just going to go and give this a quick squeeze in the vise to try and make it a bit tighter. Let's try again. This guy doesn't want to budge, does he? Bad news, I'm starting to round off the nut of the AT sensor, so it's looking likely that I'm going to need to order a new AT sensor. Bit of a last resort here. I've got the exhaust in the vise. If I can get a spanner on it and get a hammer on the spanner and beat it off, then maybe that might just do the trick, but I don't think it's going to, because as I say, I've rounded off the nut bit of the AT sensor. But let's just see if I can get this one off. I can get it off. Look at that. Budge up.
Yeah.
It's too hot to be working under cars, isn't it? Let's just have a cool, refreshing ice cream break. Right, let's get back to it. I've put some grease on the threads of the AT sensor. I would have done that last time and it still got incredibly tight, but we mean well. Hopefully I'll never have to take this off again, but this is the second time I've replaced this cat for the same reason. The first time it happened, it was on the original cat, and that's what prompted me to upgrade, because if you're going to replace, you might as well upgrade if you can. And I was trying to think what brand the cat that I've just taken off was, and I looked back at the video in the top right corner where I sort of introduced the Astra and reminded myself that it was in fact also a Cobra, so we were replacing like for like. But when I bought that Cobra, it was second hand. It was about 360 quid, so I paid about 100 quid more about 6 years later, but for a brand new one. I don't know how much life this car's got left in it. I would hope that this exhaust outlives the life of the rest of the car. And what I mean by that is I hope that something else kills the car before this exhaust does again, having done it twice now. A nice thing about Cobra, as well as this lovely little brochure introducing the Cobra Sports Club, all the Cobra merch. Sadly, no pictures of Vauxhalls. Anyway, the cool thing is we get all the nice gaskets, which I wouldn't have got when I bought a second-hand one. Also, new bolts, which is ideal given that I just snapped some. So that is where the new Sports Cat joins the pre-cat. That is where the Sports Cat joins the rear of the exhaust. And the long ones will be to get the back. So we got, I don't know what the intention is of the washers. I guess 3 bolts for the pre-cat, 3 nuts, probably 3 washers, 2 either end of the bolt, one on the bolt side, one on the nut side, and a spare. Nice. Let's get fitting then, I guess. We're going to start with the pre-cat because that can be very fiddly. I've done it before. I can't put the video in the top right again because I put it in earlier, but if you want to see in a bit more detail how I fit this, then go and see that video. Alright, let me know what you think of the state of that turbo. Is that a massive crack? Play-wise on the turbo, there's a bit of play in that. It's not too bad. I don't think it's got worse than last time I had this off, but that crack is quite big, isn't it? Let me know what you think. Now, in for the Sports Cat. Pausing the time warp a second because my gasket, it's got 2 round holes and 1 oblong hole. So I try and put the 2 round holes on the threads that are already there. It doesn't fit, so I do 1 oblong, 1 round. That fits, but then the round hole won't line up with the threads that doesn't already have a stud in it. So I think I just need to oblong 1 of those round holes. I've oblonged 2 of them. Bit on the wonk, but let's give it a try. All good. I'll put you back on the time warp. Just remembered, I've done this before, when I tighten up the V-clamp, I've got the actuator from the turbo just there. You don't want the bolt and spring from the V-clamp touching that, otherwise when the actuator goes in and out like that, it's going to get caught. So I just had to loosen it off, spin it around and do it up again. Now I've just got to go underneath, tighten up all the bolts, and then we can start it and check there are no blaze. Oh, and I do need to plug in this O2 sensor as well. We're all bolted up, O2 sensors are both plugged in, so let's start the car. Remind ourselves what it sounded like with the pre-cat decat pipe, but then we'll get back underneath, just check for blaze, and fingers crossed we're done. That is sounding so much better. Let's just check for blaze. Oh, I can see smoke. Why can I see smoke? Okay, I think we're good on this bit, but I don't know why it's smoking up there. Might have just been a bit of grease, because it's sort of stopped now. I can't really hear that it's blowing from out here. I'm not totally convinced that there isn't a blow, but now I've had the car running, the exhaust is far too hot to touch, so I might as well give it a drive. If it is grease, then after a drive it definitely would have burnt off, so if I'm still seeing any bit of smoke, then there is a blow and I need to fiddle with that V-band. I do remember it is a lot harder getting the aftermarket decat pipe in there, because, where's the old one? On the old one here, you've got this lip on the inside, and that helps locate it. The decat one is just a flat plate across, so you just move it around and guess when it's in the middle and hope that the V-clamp settles it in the middle, but maybe that hasn't happened, so we need to let it cool down, give it a drive, which will determine that it's not grease or is grease. If there's still smoke, then I need another fiddle. Look at the state of me. I think I better freshen up. I noticed when editing the video for this that earlier on in the video, when I was doing up the V-band clamp here for the downpipe, from the bottom, as I thought I'd got it tight enough to secure the pipe and moved up to the top, that you can see here the downpipe actually shifted, and then I proceeded to do it up from the top, so because it shifted down, there's probably a bit of a gap there, which is probably why I was seeing a bit of smoke. So just gonna have another go at that now. With the V-band clamp loosened off now, you can see where the two parts meet each other. So I've got a jack under the car, just propping the exhaust up, so I don't need to try and hold it whilst doing up the V-band clamp again. So it's just a case now of trying to align it and then do it up again. That looks good, so let's do up that V-band clamp, start it up, and hope we don't see any smoke this time. Let's try it now. Looks okay from up here. I can't see anything from underneath. I think we might be good, you know? We can dream anyway. Right, let's get on the road and hear what that exhaust sounds like again. How's that sound? Pretty good, methinks. So that is the exhaust done, something unexpected, but it was something that needed to be done and has given me the excuse to get my pre-cat decat back on the car, and I do think that makes a really big difference to the sound of it. I'm sorry to say that I'm not going to get to anything on the list in this video. I did want to do something, but I started to have a go with it and it did not go well, so I cannot progress that right now, and it's going to be a bit of a bigger job than I first anticipated. And I am afraid the bad news does not stop there. So after this video, I'm going to release a short of me doing another job that is not on the list, but a job that I've done before, which is why I'm going to cover it in a short. But whilst I was doing that, I noticed in the radiator down here, let's see if I can get you down so you can see, in there it is wet. Recently the car has been telling me that the coolant level is low. This is the coolant. And in the past, I've replaced the coolant bottle because the sensor that measures how much coolant is in that bottle is prone to failure. So I'm used for when the coolant light comes on just thinking that it's a dodgy sensor, but for real this time I think we actually have a leak. Well, we do have a leak, I've just shown it to you. So we need to add a front coolant radiator to the list. I say a front coolant radiator, there is only one. This is not a Bugatti Veyron, it is a radiator. So let's put that on the list now. So I know that a while ago I mentioned in a video that this car is kicking my butt, I think was the phrase that I used, or something similar to that, and it really is. As I'm trying to get through this list, more and more keeps being added to it. It's a bit like the BMW E90 was, to be honest, but I've got to plough on trying to get this car back up to scratch. I cannot afford to change it because I've just spent all my money on the VX220, and I do plan to do a video about the cost of the VX220 in the near future, but at the moment I'm totally bogged down with dealing with this. I've actually got a little modification for this which I might do in the next video because I've had the part for a number of months now, but again, because of all the issues, I haven't got around to fitting it. But I kind of think let's just take a break from the list and do a little modification, so maybe that will be the next video. Anyway, thank you for persevering with me, and hopefully I will see you in the next one. Laters.